Hello, this is Catherine from Accelerated Reader Reading Books for You. Today, I will be reading Treachery in the Barn from Sophia's Fables for Younger Generations, written by Olusola Sophia Anyanwu. Before I begin reading, I would like to give a big thanks to the author for sending me this book to read on my channel. In the description below, I've included links where you may find and purchase this book. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Fables for Younger Generations is a collection of animal stories where animals act like humans in their thoughts. It also reflects how some of these stories would have been told to children in Nigeria 60 years ago. Treachery in the Barn. Pa Cuckoo was the oldest cock in the barnyard. He was 80 in age, though this was only 4 years in human time. He was not happy. Every day he had one problem or the other to think about. He often thought of himself and his 3 grown-up sons. One afternoon he thought aloud, "I wonder whose turn it is next. It might be my turn. I am very old and the oldest. I better pretend as if I am ill. I don't want to die yet." The more he thought about this, the more troubled he became. He realized that if he pretended as if he were ill, the bad luck would go to any of his promising young sons. So, Papa Cuckoo decided to call his family together for a family chat. Altogether, there were 10 birds in the barnyard. The 10 birds were of 2 different families. The other family numbered up to 5, like Papa Cuckoo's family did. Papa Cuckoo's sons were Doofy, Mondo, and Dala. I have called you all so that we can discuss the best plans to keep us all safe. You all remember that next week is our master's birthday. From what I gather, preparations are being made as to who will go amongst us all. What can we do to prevent this? Retta, his wife, an old brown hen, suggested that it was improbable that any harm would befall the family. "Don't let us worry," encouraged Retta. "I lay eggs. Papa Cuckoo does the crowing, and our 3 sons help father the chicks. So you see, we are a useful family. When the important day comes, let us all show how promising and useful we can be. This way, no one would want to harm us." Papa Cuckoo's family felt reassured by what Retta said. They thought all would go well with their family. Meanwhile, the other family too had their family meeting in the barnyard. They all knew that any ceremony held in the compound meant bad luck. The other family consisted of Boma and her 4 sisters, Roly, Pebby, Nisia, and Tanga. They were all young girls getting ready again to hopefully become mothers. They decided against pretending to fall ill because it hadn't worked out well once. "What are you going to do, my dear sisters?" asked Boma. "You know, I am useful in the compound. I hatch chicks for sale." "Yes, but your chicks are never beautiful. They always turn out to be black, like you," Nessia said. "Yes," agreed Tanga. "That is true. It is Boma who should really plan how to save herself. The rest of us can equally produce chicks." "Beautiful ones at that too," joined in Roly. "Don't fight, my dear sisters. All we need to do is to escape into the next compound when our door is let open," said Pebby, the quiet hen. As luck would not have it, the ceremony was a big feast. The poultry farmer sent Nestor, his eldest son, to pick out any 3 birds. So, Nestor strolled into the poultry house. His presence was known at once to the fowls who heard his whistling. As he stood there, looking at all of them from behind the shut door, he saw Roly, Pebby, Nessia, and Tanga fighting each other fiercely. So, instead of opening the door, he watched on interestedly to see who would come out the winner. Boma, who was left out, realized the trick her sisters had played on her. She started to cry in alarm when she realized that the fowls from the other family were all looking ill and miserable. So she was to be that sacrificial lamb, it seemed. By the time the 4 sisters had finished fighting, they looked horrible and unattractive. Their combs and necks were bleeding. They had lost some of their beautiful plumage and gasping for breath. Young Nestor took his time to make his choice. He looked at Papa Cuckoo, the great breeder and crower. The old man is sure kicking, thought Nestor. Cuckoo did not pretend to look ill, as Retta had advised. Retta, too, did not pretend to look ill. Instead, their 3 sons, Doofy, Mondo, and Dala, looked as if they were on the point of death. They lay down with their heads drooping and their eyes closed. Mondo, the eldest and biggest of the sons, had been the one to suggest the idea of feigning illness. "We are young. We need to live longer. Our parents' advice is bad," he had said. Mondo was a great pretender. He also shook his body to show that he had a fever. Nestor opened the door carefully because he realized that Boma and her sisters were eager to run out. When he was securely safe inside the barn with a big chicken basket in his hand, he grabbed the very sick Mondo. Mondo, to Nestor's surprise, fought with all his young energy. When Nestor looked at Doofy and Dala, he realized they had recovered from whatever sickness they had suffered. But due to his first impressions of their illness, he chased Doofy and caught him. Nestor looked over at Boma and her sisters. They were all jumping and screeching with fear. He grabbed the 2 sisters that had fought the most. He did this because he thought the 2 hens to be very energetic. Their meat would therefore be firm and delicious. The 2 hens were Nessia and Roly. The 2 unlucky sisters were shouting at Nestor. "Help! Help!" they cried. "We have been taken. Boy Nestor, help!" cried Roly. "Pick Retta, that old wretch, or Boma. Boy Nestor, drop me. Oh, help!" she screeched further. But Nestor did not understand what his father's birds were saying. Nestor told his father that Dala, too, had looked ill. The poultry farmer had immediately arranged for the barn to be cleaned out properly and thoroughly disinfected. Dala was later sent to join his unlucky brethren. He heard the farmer say, "The remaining hens will lay eggs soon and produce other fine cocks." The end. Thank you for listening. Stay tuned for the next fable, Tara's Funny Game. Don't forget to like and subscribe. In the description below, I've included links where you may find and purchase this book.